Welcome, podcast kittens, to another episode of...
Keep all this. This is gold. And it's Ladybeard coming at you with... I didn't think of an adjective.
Another adjective episode.
Installment on Cat with Beard.
Cat with Beard.
Oh, that was terrible.
Hey, podcast kittens, it's Cathy Cat.
And Ladybeard coming at you with another Yabai episode of Cat with Beard. We're back with our friend Yabatan. Look at this guy. I didn't think of an adjective because we were having too much pleasant conversation in between episodes.
But it's healthiness.
やばいめっちゃやばいですよ
So at the last episode, to sum it up, we summed up the start of Yabatan, the beginning. All the way until you hit viral and you're like, you know what? I'm going to quit my day job.
生まれた
Umareta. You were born.
生まれたばっかり
Exactly. You were born like a fresh spring chicken.
そうだよ
You were hatched.
Yeah. Last episode, I hatched.
You
did.
hatched.
You officially became... Yabatan officially became a celebrity in Japan.
すごいめっちゃ楽しい
Yeah.
A bunch of characters,
job.
Japanese people coming to your language school just to get lessons from that fellow on the video.
Yeah.
And then you said, I'm out of this here.
And then I left.
So what happens next after you go viral in Japan?
Yes. I left the school, the English language school, as a teacher. But I tried to get a visa with them actually.
Oh, okay.
But they didn't sponsor visas.
Oh, well, then I'll get out of there.
Yeah.
It's not your fault, then.
No. So I had 1 week left. This was just when my working holiday visa was going to end.
So this always happens. Now you've got this visa challenge just as your career pops.
Oh, no.
It happens every time, right?
Yep.
And it sucks because you're like, what? No.
Bad timing.
Like, this is like everyone's looking at my stuff. Like now I should be shining, but then no, you got to leave in like 1 week. You know?
Yep. So what'd you do?
Well, I made a lot of videos, and then I was ready to go home, and I got an email from NHK World.
Hey, same employer here, NHK
Exactly.
World.
Exactly.
All right.
They wanted to have me in their show, Kawaii International.
Okay. Hey.
The producer was a fan of me.
Great.
So I had a meeting with them and it was all great until I said, but I have to leave next week.
Yeah.
And they were like, what? No. And then they fixed a 3-month visa.
Okay.
Oh, like an entertainer visa then if it's
Great.
done.
Good.
Yeah. So I went back to Norway and then came back to Japan, started filming with NHK. And that's what I did. Like we were filming for like 3 months. I was like a regular on that TV show as a reporter. So I would be everywhere, like going to all these weird Japanese stores and, Takeshita Street and sweets and, all this kawaii stuff.
Okay, we done that.
Happy days. You have done that.
Yeah, exactly. Well done.
Right? It was great. And then they gave me another 3-month visa and then it was kind of like, okay, we need to figure out how to keep you here. Then I met some very nice people that wanted to sponsor me.
Great.
Or my visa. At least.
Very nice people. Can you be like, was it an agency? Or just...
Was it a lonely old woman who was looking for a new husband?
Well, you can call it a small agency.
Okay.
It's just a supporter kind of thing. Like it's just for the visa.
Great. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Because I didn't want to join any jimusho, like agencies.
Yeah, okay.
Because they were trying to like take over my concept. And,
that's a lot of people have this challenge.
Yeah.
When you blow up on the internet, then you get off with some gibber but they want to take total control of your artistic brand.
Exactly. So I said no to all of these people, which made it more difficult to stay. And yeah.
Can I just ask, now potentially you can't name names, but which gibber did you get offers from? Were they the big ones like Yoshimoto and the really huge ones and Watanabe and whatnot?
No.
Okay, so smaller gibber
Smaller.
Like probably the ones aimed maybe at foreigners, those kind of...
Mostly, yeah.
But hey, they were Japanese gibber or they were the gaijin-centric gibber
They're both.
Okay. And you turned them all down?
I turned them down, yeah, because it wasn't really like beneficial for me to join them.
Yeah.
Like
You didn't want to sell your
felt
soul
like
for a visa.
my brand would just disappear.
Wither.
And I would be just watching them take it, do
and
whatever
then whatever prosperity does come from it is not yours. That belongs to them.
Exactly.
You'll get exploited, chewed up, and then thrown out the back.
Yeah. So I thought it's better to try to go the hard way and be a good example for other people.
Good man.
And maybe try to do it on my own.
Good man.
Kind of. Obviously I have a people around me. But I mean, like, it's me. It's my brand. It's me. I'm doing all the stuff. Like, this is my idea, my character, my vision. So I didn't want any agency to come in and take like half of my stuff, kind of, just for a visa.
I mean, you were lucky though that you didn't have to sell your soul for a visa.
Very lucky.
This is the first time I've heard that option. I didn't even know what option it is, and I guess it's a bit difficult to explain, but that's usually not an option, guys. You can't randomly bump into friendly people who give you a visa. That's not how it works.
Yeah, you did well to get those.
I was very lucky. Like I said, NHK, like these people, the producers and their friends are very nice people.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
that TV show is no longer on NHK World.
Well, no.
Unfortunately,
shame.
but I think it was one of the longest. Like
it was really
over
good.
10 years or something.
Yeah,
Right?
everyone knew it, especially being in Lolita fashion. The kawaii community watched it almost religiously.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It was, and honestly, it was the best TV show on NHK
I can't
World.
believe it. I thought it was still on, to be honest.
I think
What Indigo was recently on it.
Hey, which show was it again?
Kawaii International, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, international. But I think NHK they have a rule, like after a certain amount of time, we just
I see.
But I think it was still on when Indigo was on, so he must have been on this year. It was still on this year.
Maybe. I haven't watched it for a long time, but
maybe they made did a one cool where they like stop it for a while and then they bring it back.
Could well be.
I might have to look this up. We might have to look this up.
So hang on. So that's 2 3-month visas that you got, and then you got hooked up with these helpers who said we'll get you a longer visa.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm on the entertainer visa.
Okay.
Oh.
So it's not very long.
It's a challenging visa.
It's like 6 months.
Lots of
every
renewals.
time, then you have to renew it again.
Yeah, so I'm not saying like, oh, I'm just enjoying life, you know, even 5 years later. Yeah. I'm still
hustling every day.
Year you have to like renew
every half year I have to
it's
renew
not
my
easy.
You can't renew that visa unless you can prove that you're making so many yen and you got so many approved jobs from like clients that the immigration department considers a client, right?
Oh my goodness.
But even me, I mean, I have actually lots of clients, like Japanese clients. Even though I have that, they don't really give me any longer visa.
No special treatment.
Entertainment visa is a difficult visa, basically.
But since this viral moment, and you decided to go out on your own, and it's videos, yeah? So you had your stock of ideas from the warehouse.
Yeah.
And then you're producing these yourself.
Yeah. So I knew what I was going to make, kind of thing. You know, I took everything that I thought was kind of funny and weird about Japan as a foreigner, and I put it into like these funny short videos.
Awesome.
Like I would go into a cat cafe and I would say like, why are there so many cats here? You know, like I didn't know. I just wanted to drink coffee, and the staff would be like, "Oh, this is a cat cafe," and I would be like, "What? You eat cats?" You know.
I see.
So that's your catchphrase.
And
so that was born then. The Hontoni Bikurista.
It was born at the Illumination.
I see.
But yeah, because at the time I couldn't speak Japanese, so the only thing I knew was like, I'm really surprised, and
So
I really loved that.
Hontoni Bikurista means I am very surprised.
Yeah. And that was kind of my concept. So I would make videos like this. Obviously, Japanese people loved it because it's kind of something new that they haven't really seen or thought of. You know, like, what? Oh, like they think cat cafes are normal, kind of. But from a foreigner's perspective, we don't really have that. I mean, I guess it's kind of more normalized now, but you know, we're still talking.
But I know what you're saying. It's fresh. Sorry, it's fresh perspective on their daily lives. So it's when something to them, which to the Japanese is just totally run of the mill and every day. Fresh eyes see it and say, "What's up with that?" I mean, why Japanese people was kind of a similar gimmick, wasn't it?
I think there's also a difference with Yabatan saying it because honestly, we have people making videos about, oh, I'm surprised it's a cat cafe all the time. But what Yabatan brings to the table, that's my opinion here, by the way. What Yabatan brings to the table is like, it's that cuteness. You make it funny and adorable. It's not just like, I went to a cat cafe. You know those kind of robot voices that people put over their shorts right now? It's like, no, it's like, you know, it's short, it's cute, but it makes you smile. Even as a foreigner, you can watch them without cringing.
Yeah. Thank you. That's very nice to hear.
And also the Japanese engage with you with a real level of joy and enthusiasm.
Yeah.
As opposed to some cold interview with some weird foreigner where they're like, fake smiling. The Japanese really warm to you and they go, Yabatan, and they genuinely are excited to see you.
Exactly. It's like, we're just friends kind of thing. And I think that's very important. So, I mean, I haven't seen other videos like that. So like I always try to make something new that people have never seen before. And Yabatan was new. And it was good timing as well. Now, of course, it's like TikTok, I went to a cat cafe, all this stuff. But 5 years ago, there was no TikTok.
Yeah, there was no TikTok 5 years ago. It didn't blow up like this, like it's now.
Yeah. So I make, and it's also very well thought through, like my videos. It's not like I just, I'm gonna make a cat cafe video and go in there and film some cats. It's like I've been thinking about this for a long time, and I've been thinking like this. If I say this, it's funny. It's like a script almost. And I was in that cat cafe for at least 3 to 4 hours.
Wow, for like a video that in
for
the
the
end,
video, I was just walking around.
How long was the video in the end?
It's, I don't know, 59 seconds, 55 seconds.
59 seconds, but you were there for 3 to 4 hours. That's the craft,
I was walking
guys.
around.
That's the craft.
I have so much raw material, and it's so awkward. Because I was just walking around talking to cats, and people will look at me like, what's wrong with this guy? I would be on the floor, like talking to the cats and stuff. But that's what makes a great video. And that's why those videos were special, because they have more than just, it's really well thought through, in my opinion. And it has, the funny, it has a story kind of, more than just shokai, like
introduction to. It's always like with a lot of creators, like once they go viral, it's like a mountain, and you can see like, it's like a frozen, like an iceberg mountain thing. You see the tip of where they get famous, but you don't see all the build up to it, the thoughts that go into it, the hours of work, the warehouse. You don't know about that, but like under the water level, there's still a lot more stuff.
That applies to all three of us, really. You had the same thing.
Sure.
I had the same thing. 100%.
It's never easy. And then always for all of us also the visa struggles. It's never easy.
Visa struggle.
It's never easy.
What I said about Yabatan connecting well with the Japanese, you do that as well. You get Japanese people to genuinely open up and kind of express themselves genuinely on camera, which is wonderful. I think that's the strength of both of you, as opposed to a lot of other interviewers who are just kind of cold and sort of objective about the whole thing.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm flattered. It's always nice to hear.
So I'm curious now, you went viral and then that for like 5 years now?
Yeah.
What happened in those years? What's going? Is there any? Tell us more. What happened in that time? Yabai!
Because this is the Yabai episode, so we say Yabai!
Yabai!
Well, TikTok came around, in the middle there, somewhere.
During the pandemic, mostly.
There was also a pandemic. That happened too.
Yeah.
That happened too.
I mean, before the pandemic, a lot of people were like, TikTok, this thing isn't going to last. And then the pandemic happened. All of attention spans got shorter and suddenly it became like a new phenomenon.
That's also very interesting. Before the pandemic, my videos were doing better because there were not that much competition. But then the pandemic came and everyone wanted to make content.
Everyone's a TikToker.
That means more competition. There's not space for everyone in this bottle,
Okay.
So that was very interesting. But I remember TikTok, they sent me an email. They started coming to Japan in early 2018, I think.
Okay.
And I got an email from them in April where they were like, hey, you should check out our app. It used to be Musical.ly.
Oh yes, Musical.ly.
But now we're TikTok and you should definitely try this. And I was like, no. I'm not touching that app. But 5 months later, I think 2018, November-ish, I started realizing that TikTok was taking off in Japan. So I was like, okay, I have to make an account. And I did. And the minute I did, they just recognized me. They put the blue mark and they started pushing my stuff. So I was like, this app is amazing. Because they did all the stuff that all the other apps didn't do. Social media.
Really?
Like, when you posted to Instagram 5 years ago, no one really, you couldn't reach anyone. You would just have your audience.
Oh, right. Okay.
Compared to now.
Like now they're pushing, like the moment they pushed it out to more people.
Yeah, TikTok had a great strategy. They were just like, okay, we'll give you the blue check mark. We'll show your content to everyone, at least in the beginning.
Okay.
So that's what they did. And I became, in 2019, I was top 10. I was among top 10 in Japan.
Very impressive.
So it was a really good thing for me, TikTok. And I've been grinding all the other social media as well, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok. Yeah, so I'm doing all of them. Which is time consuming.
That's what I thought. That's as a content creator, as a fellow content creator, how do you keep track of it? And do you like go like on Monday I post this to all platforms, or do you go on Monday I post it here, then I post the same video on a Tuesday on that platform? How do you do it?
I try to have like every week Thursday I post to all platforms. But it's like I want to do YouTube as well, you know, long form. I don't have time.
Yeah, fair enough.
And you know, you have to do stories, you have to do live,
All of that.
you have to do all of this stuff.
Yeah.
I don't have time to do that because I edit all my videos myself. I make the ideas, I do the filming, you know.
Control.
Wow.
So it's like, that's my week, you know.
And so now, can I ask, is it so? You know, obviously, don't answer anything you're not comfortable with. But how do you actually earn? Do you get sponsorship deals, or how do you?
Yeah.
How happens?
So compared to other creators, I guess, I don't know about any other creators, but I don't make much from my videos itself. Like,
Okay.
From streaming and royalties things, yeah.
yeah, no, not much.
So the platforms,
I would-
especially TikTok, doesn't really give back
pay
to the
anything, no.
creators.
Especially, well, at least not in Japan. And I mean, short form content really hasn't paid well any time, right?
Okay.
I mean, YouTube Shorts, it's better than everything else, at least for me.
Okay.
But it's not enough to live off of. So
Okay.
that's why I say, when people say like, oh, you're a YouTuber, I'm like,
Not really.
not really, because I don't make that much money from YouTube. I make
Okay.
all of my money from like commercials.
Oh,
commercials.
like sponsorship.
Like
Japanese
endorsements.
commercials, web commercials,
All right.
events, talk shows.
Really?
You know, just being Yabatan
Okay.
in the media. That's how I make my money. And doing sponsorship on social media, obviously. Like, you know, I would go to some, I don't know, let's say Osaka and promote Osaka.
Yes.
Or I would promote a Japanese brand.
And they'll pay you to do that and
Yeah.
put their brand on your platforms. And
Yeah.
whatnot.
So I would have my weekly videos, which are non-sponsored, but then I would have sponsored videos come into
come
my
in as
schedule and just like, when should I post this kind of thing? Yeah. Yeah.
How long do you edit one of those videos?
So if it's one of my regular videos where I interview Japanese people kind of thing, I don't really have a plan. So that takes a long time to edit because I have to go through I have to find the funny moments. Like I talk to like 20 people and I have to find the funny moments and put it into a 1-minute video. That takes a long time. I would say like at least a day or two. If it's scripted, I can do it in a day. But in general, from 1 to 3 days.
Okay.
Pretty fast turnaround.
1 to 3 days of
pretty
editing,
fast.
and then 1 day to like schedule it up and push it to all the
That's
platforms.
a 1-minute video, if I have time.
That's that's hard work. You're working hard. That's hard work.
Because the subtitles I make myself.
Okay, that's
God,
hard work.
I feel you gotta do subtitles for us
Yeah.
Japanese, so that's
If I didn't have subtitles,
time.
I would save so much time. The problem is I'm using a font from Adobe Premiere,
Hey!
I think 2021.
Hey! All right.
And that font disappeared when they took away the legacy title function.
Oh.
So I'm still editing on Adobe Premiere 2021.
Awesome.
Oh,
I can't update it.
because it's part of your brand
Oh,
now.
you can't update it because you'll lose that font.
Yeah, I can't. Like, it's nowhere to be found.
Oh no!
But I would love to if they ever bring it back or some other.
You could be the spokesperson for that font.
Yeah, go to
I know.
Adobe.
I've been
What's
thinking
font
about
is
this.
it?
Chill with that.
Which font is it?
Well, I mean, it's just an Arial something. It's Arial black. Something narrow. I think it's narrow. It's called
Hey,
They should
Adobe!
just rename
here's
it
a
into Ariel
sponsorship-
/Yabatan.
Yeah, exactly. It should be Ariel Yabatan. Yeah. Adobe, here's an opportunity for you.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was actually at an event with them like 4 years ago.
No
you
way.
should give
But 4
me back
years
my
ago, we
font.
didn't have that problem.
Ah,
no.
damn. Yep.
Because I don't want to change that font because it's very unique, in my opinion.
So you eat by having sponsorships, events, going places. Would that classify you as a Japanese talento?
That's what I call myself.
All right.
If someone asks me, or I would say comedian / talento. What is talento in English?
I mean,
Talent.
it is a talent, TV personality,
TV personality,
talent.
yeah,
So
celebrity.
But I'm also a doga creator, you know. So it's difficult to put a name
I
on
mean,
it.
nowadays you have to do it all. You can't
Because
just
you're
be someone.
When you're everywhere, what are you?
Have you been on Japanese variety TV?
Yeah.
How was that experience for you?
That was amazing. That was my dream.
Really?
Like, I've always wanted to be on Japanese TV. I
really?
still want to be on TV. The problem is, like I said, I'm not in a jimusho. I'm not in an agency.
Oh, still not. You're still rejecting all the agencies?
I'm still
DIY in this. That's the way to maintain control.
I'm still rejecting all of them. That's why they don't want me on as a regular on TV because, which is understandable. If you do something wrong, they have no control.
And the credibility. Just to quickly explain it, we mentioned it on the podcast before, a lot of Japanese companies will not work with you if you're not part of an agency, because the agency kind of makes you credible, makes you legit in a way. They take the blow if the talent doesn't turn up, that kind of thing. But if you don't have an agency, it's almost like your guarantors in there.
Yeah, guarantor is a good way to think of the jimusho, actually. They behave almost like a parent for the artist.
Well, like in between.
Get you and they'll be telling you, blah, 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 you need to go and tell Mr. Nakamura that he has nice shoes. You're like, oh, all right. Hi, Nakamura-san, sweet shoes. They tell you all these things to do. But then if you upset someone, like you don't tell Nakamura-san he has sweet shoes, then he goes, and he calls up your jimusho, the jimusho goes, and has to apologize for you and all this nonsense.
Exactly. But it makes sense. I mean, it's like a security, for the TV people and the brand.
You still didn't bolt. You didn't give up on no, I want to keep my brand to myself at that. You're like, nope, still don't need a jimusho.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on TV sometimes, but not as a regular, more like a guest kind of thing.
Okay.
So I want to bring something up. So Japanese comedy versus everyone else comedy. Now, I look at a lot of Japanese comedy, and apart from just surprising moments when someone unexpectedly makes a loud noise or makes a funny face, I don't really get very much of it. So kind of explain the appeal from your perspective and kind of why you fell in love with it.
Oh, the reason I fell in love with it is just because of that. Because
there's that factor.
It's so unique. Like no one else you've seen the craziest stuff on Japanese TV, right? That's where you see the crazy stuff. If you go to the West, Norway, for example, if you go to Norway, it's all the same. It's just like stand-up comedy, talking about some sex stuff, because, no one's laughing, I have to talk about sex kind of thing. But in Japan, there's so many comedians and so much, it's the most popular thing. If you can be the biggest comedian, you're like king of Japan.
You really are.
You really are. Like they have this TV show called M1, which is a competition for comedians every year. I'm telling you, no one is outside when that final is on TV. And they gather around the TV and they eat, popcorn and they're going crazy for these comedians. And the winners of that, even the top 3, I would say, are the biggest comedians throughout the whole year. Maybe more. Like some of the people you see on TV now, they won 5 years ago and they're still there because they're so funny. So, but it's a bit difficult to explain, but
it really is, isn't it? Because you watch it and it's either going to be really just hilarious due to the ridiculousness of it, or you sit there going, what happened? You find yourself going, what was the funny part if the joke doesn't hit? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, everything is not funny, obviously. But it's the creation, it's so creative. They go so outside of the box. You can think of it like that. Usually, especially in Norway, you would see the same thing over and over again done by different people. But in Japan, you can find something unique and new that you've never thought about. The Japanese comedians are doing it at Britain's Got Talent.
Yeah. I'm wearing.
Have you seen those things?
I'm wearing. Yeah.
It's ridiculous, but it's so creative. And no one in the West would ever think about
consider
doing
it.
And it's just I saw this thing the other day with some stomach sounds and stuff that. Some guy just making sounds from his stomach because he has a beer belly. But it's the way they present it and the thought process of coming up with that idea is so fascinating. It's difficult to explain because, it's difficult for people who don't speak very fluent Japanese to understand a Japanese joke.
Sure is.
That's a good point.
A language
comedy,
joke.
there is
It's
a bit
very
of a barrier.
difficult. Yeah. So you have to have a lot of experience to get those jokes.
I think another part of it as well is Japan, how do I say this politely, does not enforce human rights quite as strictly as the West does. So therefore,
some of the things those comedians have to do is quite rough.
Yeah, being a Japanese comedian is basically just being a victim of abuse.
Asking for injury. We have a whole episode on Japanese comedy, by the way. If you want to check that out, it's also in the podcast.
I did a commercial for that game, Clash of Kings, I think it was.
Oh.
And it was, my goodness. So they had an actor playing a salaryman, and he did not know what was going on. So he thinks his role is you just walk to the end of the street wearing your suit, and then you're going to stop, and you'll be on the phone, and then we'll call cut. What no one told him is there was an army of foreigners dressed as like knights in shining armor around this corner, and then an army of Japanese dudes dressed as like Mongols around this corner. And so, okay, actually all the cameras are hidden. He gets down there and he's on his phone call, and he hears, "Ah!" And this Mongol horde is running at him. He's like, "What the?" So he starts running away, and then around the other corner, a bunch of knights comes at him. He's like, "What the?" And like his natural reaction is being terrified. You couldn't. But yeah, we did it with like 4 different dudes. So the amount of logistics that would have gone into keeping this gag secret from each guy one by one would have been huge, right? Just massive budget.
I watched that.
You saw that? Yeah, I meant that.
I didn't know that. The guy didn't know.
No, he has no idea what's going on.
Oh my goodness.
It's the same with that dinosaur one. You've seen the dinosaur one?
I love those.
Oh my Lord, where they have someone in a really realistic dinosaur suit and they'll like attack someone in an office. But you'd be sued for, creating PTSD if you did that in the Western world. Right?
Yeah, definitely.
So there's a lot of comedians don't have that much right.
They don't have any rights at all.
They don't.
You get like thrown off buildings and things. It's just horrendous. And everyone's like, "Ha! Look at him in terror."
Well, I mean, that's obviously not so good. Human rights, yeah.
Human rights, yeah. One thing I find interesting.
We might get sued for this episode.
Oh no. Back to your passion for very long movies.
Oh, yeah.
How does that connect to short movie media that is shorter than like a minute?
Great point.
How does that connect?
Does it connect?
Does it?
Does it? I don't know. Does it? I don't think so. I think
apples and oranges.
It's apples and oranges. It's 2 completely different things. So that's just like, I can say that, okay, I want to try to do some serious acting as well, for example. Obviously, that's also something that I want to do. But I am making short form video content, yes.
Okay.
That's just how it is, Cathy.
That's just how it is. To be a content creator, do you have any advice for someone who wants to do something like Yabatan?
Ooh.
What would your advice be?
You have to think long and well through what you want to do before you do it.
Yeah, yep.
I
Do
think
that warehouse strategy.
Yeah.
Think about something that has never been made before. Like, I always do this example, like if you like cats and pasta, for example, you can make you would make a video where you eat pasta with your cat, for example.
Oh, that's cute.
And then that would
Pasta
be your
cat.
concept. It's just, like I've never seen that before. And that could be your channel, for example. Like that's something new. Like take something that you're interested in and make it unique.
And then make it something that you can continue for many, many years.
That's why I say think through it.
Yeah,
like think long and hard about it. Like how will this look like in the future?
And and you could even go as far as to say have a plan for your first 2 to 3 years. So you've got stock in the bank like you had. You had stock in the ideas bank.
Yeah, you should. Because when your time comes, you should be prepared.
You want to be ready to get it.
Yeah, and that shows that you're actually like working hard.
After you. All right. Gotta go if that's okay. Okay. Since you're posting on different platforms, is the audience different on the different platforms? So, for example, are people on Facebook different than people on TikTok, which I assume they are?
Yeah,
so how do
different.
they receive you differently?
Well, I mean, there are different people from different countries, different ages. But they're kind of similar in a way, actually. Yeah, I would say the comments are quite similar.
So there's not like image-wise, I have the feeling like the more mature audience is on Facebook, while the hip young people on TikTok.
There are more mature audience on Facebook. I do have a lot of, I would say 40, 50, 60-year-olds, for example. while on TikTok you would have a much younger audience, but you would also have the mothers.
The mothers?
The mothers.
The mothers are not on the TikTok too.
Like you would have the
mums
parents.
on the TikTok. The mums of TikTok.
So
dear.
even though if your demographics are very like young, maybe they're all just mothers watching your stuff.
Who knows?
Maybe 30, 40s, you know. No, but everyone watches Yabatan actually. Like when I meet people in the street, it can be anything from like babies to grandmothers actually. So,
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. So I'm really happy about that. And I think part of that is because I post everywhere. Like if I only posted to Instagram, they wouldn't know, right?
All right. I think that also like pushing it all at the same time is a really good idea. Do
Yeah.
you use like a social media management tool to push it to the different platforms at the same time?
I don't.
Oh, you
Very
do it one by
old-fashioned.
one on every
Very
place?
old-fashioned.
Wow.
I don't like, the thing is, I don't like connecting third-party stuff to my accounts. And that's why I do everything myself. Because if you read through all the stuff that this company will like take from you, it's a lot. So I'm very stubborn and old-fashioned.
Okay,
I know
just
that-
one by one, deep.
I go one by one.
Oh,
Do you
thank
not go?
you.
Do you not go one by one?
I do, but like...
Oh, you do go one by one?
Because he's
Oh,
on all
everyone
the
does.
platforms. Like, if you think about it, you post it on Facebook, you post it on YouTube, you post it on Instagram,
Yeah,
you
it
post it
is.
on
TikTok.
TikTok, you post it on Twitter. That's already 5 platforms. Am I missing anything?
No, it is tiring, but it's worth it, in my opinion.
Okay.
Do you have a fan base in China?
Yes. I've never been to China, but I get Chinese people tell me all the time that I'm so famous in China.
So are you
Wow.
also doing Weibo and Douyin and Kuaishou and all the Chinese?
I
social
am
media?
now.
Okay.
I have a company doing that for me actually.
Ah, yes.
Oh,
you have
okay.
you have to for China. You have to for China.
Right? Because obviously I don't know anything
You
about
can't read
China.
it and
yeah.
such,
So
yeah.
they're just taking care of that for me.
Oh,
But that's recently. So before that, people just posted my stuff.
Good
Like,
man, good. That's a great market.
now you reach
I don't know
your
if
own
I'm
audience.
named Yabatan in China. Maybe I'm,
They'll give you a different name in
Yeah.
Chinese.
which I think they have.
Yeah. They've given me many different names in Chinese.
Yeah. Right.
Sorry, Cathy.
Since we're at names, why the name Yabatan?
So I was thinking, Yabatan is slang for yabai, and the word yabai in Japanese can mean many things. It can mean anything from crazy, cool, awesome, right? So you have all these different meanings to the word, which I really like. So I like that word, and then tan is something you put on words to make it cute. You make it sound cute. So this is no longer, I mean, it's kind of old-fashioned actually. Like 10 years ago, I think it was very popular.
Say
Like,
tan at the end of things.
Dan. It's like Chan. Lots of people will know Chan or Kun or San or Senpai.
so this, you would say like Yabatan, Kyabatan, Shirotan, you know, like you just put tan at the end of your name or a thing and it will make it cute. And I thought that's very cute. And that's an interesting name, Mr. Yabatan. I never saw anyone with that name. So I was like, that's me. I'm crazy, I'm cool, I'm awesome, weird, you know. So I think it suits me well.
Yabatan.
Yabai,
awesome.
and you can
Yabai.
use it so much, you know.
It has so many meanings.
Yeah, like this episode is called Yabai because I'm Yabatan.
Okay, sure.
You see,
It
that's
think
the
rounded
name
up
works.
nicely.
Yeah, perfect, perfect.
Any goals for Yabatan in the future that we should know about?
I need to make my own like TV show. I feel
Okay,
like
great.
Wow, Yabai.
Yeah, it's very impressive.
Yabai. Yeah, that's one of my goals. Yeah, and I want to be on M1 in Japan.
Okay.
Hey,
The comedy.
hey, M1, did you hear that? Yabatan's coming for you.
頑張って.
難しいと思う.
Will you be the first non-Jimusho artist to appear on M1?
Probably. I don't know if am I allowed to appear? You know,
Is he allowed M1?
This is a very interesting project.
You can make your own competition called M2.
M2.
Or everyone who's not in the Jimusho.
Make your own agency. There
I'll
you go.
find a competition that allows me to be on stage and do something funny. That's what I want to
Alright,
do.
loves it.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
And I want to be in a movie.
Okay.
I have been in a drama,
Great.
Japanese drama, but I want to be in a movie.
A slow-paced movie.
A slow-paced one where I'm going to be
Really
so serious.
Okay.
So everyone's going to be like,
super slow pace.
that looks like that guy.
You're an actor, so that's
but he's
you know,
so
you can show your
strange.
range.
Yeah, I want to
100%.
show my like what I'm capable of doing.
I love it. Well,
That it was a wonderful episode. Once again, thank you so much for being on the show.
Arigato!
Please spell how we can find you online on all the social media.
So it's Mr. MR YABATAN.
In all the
Everywhere.
places we've said it many
Everywhere.
times.
I would actually just skip the Mr. and just write Yabatan,
Yabatan.
with a Y. And then I'll pop up, Sugoi, and I'll spread my nice energy to you and make your day awesome.
You will. That's exactly what you'll do.
You made our night awesome. Thank you so
thank you
much
for coming
on the
on.
podcast.
Sugoi, mecha iyasareta.
Yeah, bro. Thank you very
Good to
much
see
for coming. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And we'll see all of you next time on another thrilling installment of
Cat
with
with
Beard.
Beard.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye. Yeah, bye, bye.
Yeah, bye bye.
Yeah, bye, bye.
Auf Wiedersehen.